Okay, we are almost live. Time to get started.
Yes, Ramanuj.
Hi everybody. Hi Sandeep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the today's webinar. Hi, this is Ramanuj from Lawsico, and Sandeep. Okay, Sandeep, your screen is shaking sometimes. If you can keep it stable, would be great.
Yes, it is stable.
Perfect. So let's get started. Uh, everybody, do introduce yourselves in the chat. Would be wonderful if you just tell us who you are, where are you logging in from, and what value you want to take away from today's session. If you're planning to start your law firm, do let us know all of that, right? And let's welcome Sandeep. He's a lawyer by excellence, and he has done a great job of setting up a law firm now with, I believe, 5 juniors now, Sandeep.
4 juniors.
4 juniors, so 5 people law firm now.
Yes.
And he has been doing it for a while very successfully. Really amazing methodology in terms of the way he has been building his practice. And I wanted to interview him for that. So Sandeep, why don't you start by introducing yourself, your life story, and then a bit of uh, about your practice.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandeep Sheregar, born and brought up in Mumbai, and I have come from very, very humble backgrounds. I was born in a slum. All right. From there, I have come up, much way up in life, and
Wonderful.
yeah. Uh, I have done my primary education from a municipal school in Mumbai because in those days, municipal schools even today they are free, and you don't need to pay any fees. So my father couldn't afford even a single rupee fees for the school. So I studied from a municipal school, primary education and secondary education up till 10th standard, and that too in my mother tongue, Kannada medium. All right. But since I was born and brought up in Mumbai, I can speak Marathi like a second language. I'm very fluent in speaking Marathi. And at times in district courts, when I practice, if I need to argue my case in Marathi, I can do that with Elance. And I have an experience of around 25 years in the field of insurance, banking, and finance. I joined law degree course in the year 2014. Uh, the name of my university is Tilak Maharashtra Vidyapeeth, Pune, but I have done it from Navi Mumbai Kharghar campus.
Right.
And yeah, and even while I was doing my LLB degree course, I would attend classes in the morning, and then in the second half, I would carry on with my profession. The reason why I came into law profession from insurance, banking, and finance, many people when I took that decision, they told me that you are going to commit a suicide in terms of your career because you are from banking, finance, and you are going to law. No match over there, and you are already on the higher side of your age. When I started my practice, my age was 47. Now today I'm almost completing 50 years. But as you know, I read and listen to many people's videos related to motivation and all those things. Once I got to hear Mr. Ratan Tata of Tata Group, chairman, ex-chairman of Tata Group, he said, you never take a right decision, you take a decision and then you prove your decision to be right. And today I'm happy that I have started with my law practice, and within a span of 3 years, I started off as a single lawyer. All right. And along with me I had one assistant just to help me out with carrying the books or my files and all those things like that. So that is how I started in 2017, and by 2020 we are up. We are a team of 5 people plus 2 support staff, so total 7 people in my law firm. The name of my law firm is Bharat Legal Tech, and it is a partnership firm. Though I have not registered the partnership firm, but very soon I'm going to do. Maybe before the end of this year, I'm going to register this partnership firm, and that's about the beginning of my career. And Ramanuj, you can ask me any other question if you want to know particular, or even the participants I think would be the best bet. If anybody wants to know anything right from the scratch, day one of my law practice, you can ask me any question. I'm ready to share everything with you all. Okay, I would like to
Okay,
share.
one question for everybody. Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear can you hear me clearly, or is there a problem? There's some problem perhaps. I don't know what is happening. Sandeep, can you guys hear Sandeep clearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Ramanuj,
Yeah,
you
for
have
a while there was some disturbance. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you were starting the law firm, right? Did you have any backing? Did you have any kind of plan? Did you have any kind of strategy? Did you have any kind of
Yeah. I will be, yes.
assurance of how?
Yeah. I'll be very honest with you. To be very honest, I did not have an inkling how to, start off with your law firm. But one thing I had in my mind, firm belief that I'm going to start my own practice for the simple reason, at the age of 47, nobody would give me a job, well-paying job. And I, having my own family, my parents, my wife, and everybody, I did not think that, everybody will take me as a fresher, right? Because just having passed out in the year 2017, people, whether
Sure.
an individual advocate or a law firm, would take me as a fresher and they would offer me something better than the others. That's all they can do. So I thought I will take a plunge and then I will see how to survive. And I started off immediately. But I would like to give a background here. In the year 2014, I was not aware about Lawsico, to be very honest. So I wish I knew Lawsico right from the year 2014. It would have been a great, support. But in spite of that, my professors in my college, they were very good in teaching and everything. I would, till to date in my life, I have never spoken anything ill about my professors, my teachers, because I always thought
Okay.
the responsibility is on me. The first thing.
Right. Got it.
I started my law practice, the preparation of my law practice right from day one in my law college. I started interacting with other students. I, signed up on a couple of legal help website, which are there available on Google, and started reading the questions that participants would post there, and then try to answer them if I know the answer, or else write down those questions.
So basically, you were going through the questions on the internet and trying to understand those, right?
Yes,
Initially.
yes. Right
Okay.
from day one, I did it. I started speaking to my fellow friend lawyers. This helped me out a lot. I started reading judgments, and when these my friends were very good with me, especially advocate friends, I would say, because of my age and experience, they would allow me to go through the papers that they have of their clients. Just in good
Some
faith.
people, one second, Sandeep, some people are trying to ask questions. See,
Okay,
we
yeah,
initially
sure.
in the webinar, we do not take question right in the beginning. You are requested to put your questions in type and type it out. Okay, we are not going to unmute you right now, but towards the end, definitely we'll be taking questions. Okay, in live also. But right now, I would request you to put your questions into the chat, because I have a series of questions that I will be asking to Mr. Sandeep Sehgal. And after that, definitely, and if your question is relevant in the structure of the webinar, then I will definitely also ask that. So request is that you can put it here. Okay. Thank you so much.
Ramanuj, one more thing I want to say here. I can devote half an hour for all the people's questions if they have. No problem. End of the session, I am available for another half an hour to answer most of the questions that we can answer. Not an issue at all.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes.
Go ahead, please. Okay, so you are continuing. You continue what you are saying. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah. So right from day one in my college, I started interacting with my advocate friends. My people whom I knew that they are having some issues in legal issues. And plus, since I was into insurance and banking and finance, I would read a lot of documents related to insurance, banking, and finance. So right since those days, I know what is concealment of material fact, moral hazard, all those things I used to read. And as I started doing my law, I started relating it. Wow, okay, what I was doing practically, I didn't know that there is a law pertaining to those things. So it helped me out
Understood.
a lot.
So your previous knowledge you could relate with. Understood.
100%.
Now,
And I would have 1 minute. I would like to say here that any person who's here, who's having a previous experience in any field, that would be of great help to them if they want to switch over to law practice.
Right. And that previous experience and that previous network also, right? Because
Yes,
you know people from that industry.
Yes, that helps a lot.
And you know the practical realities of that industry. So that is very helpful.
Right.
So when you were starting your practice, okay, were you only working in insurance, or what kind of matters did you start getting? When did you what was your first matter? How did you get your first client?
Yes, that's a very interesting question. Since I was interacting with a lot of advocate friends and all, I came across a couple of legal help group, okay, in which these website, for example, I'll tell you, there is a website called as Men's Right. okay, which renders free support to all those men who are falsely implicated in family matters. So I enrolled with them. I started reading a lot of material. Things went on like this, and then also I started. Now I don't know whether you people are aware. There is something called as local circles, which is available across India. Okay, people form different local groups by way of local circles related to cooperative housing society, family matters, electricity department, whatnot. Groups are numerous. You can join any group. So I joined such groups, and then people across India started posing their questions related to law on those groups. So I would read those questions, try to answer them if I know the answer, or capture those questions, do the research and on the day, and then answer them next day, because we had a provision in that legal help group in which we could answer the question offline later on also. That thread was available. The thread of questions asked was available. So I would do that. Slowly and steadily, more and more people started asking me questions. And since I used to do legal research beforehand, my answers would be to the point, and people started contacting me. So these things started happening. Slowly and steadily, I increased it. And by the time I passed out in 2017, I got a couple of family cases, like domestic violence related matters, 498. So I took them up immediately. As soon as I finished my law and I got my sanat in September 2017, I took them up. And then I started going. And whenever I go to the court, I would prepare as much as possible from my side, because I, being a fresher and not having anybody to guide me or mentor me, I would go fully prepared. At times I wouldn't sleep at night. So that is how I went on doing. I did some small mistakes, but I corrected them, and then the journey started. And one more thing here I would like to share with everybody. I am very vocal whenever I am standing in front of the court. Vocal meaning I speak loudly and clearly, and I keep my points in a very crystal clear manner and as per the law. I never deviate away from the law. If there is any question posed to me by the magistrate or the judge, I tell them, my lord, this is the law, this is the law book, and this is the law what it says. And looking at these, my way of presenting case in the courts, many people, litigants whose cases were going on in those courts for the last 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, they started contacting me. So this is how I increased my practice. So this was the beginning. And then they say word of mouth spread. The good word of mouth spread automatically. And then I kept on connecting with more and more friends, more and more lawyer advocate friends.
So it was an organic process of connecting with people, and it was networking driven.
Networking,
right?
Exactly.
Right. Understood. So now this is your experience. Now let's come to a more general topic, that where I can also maybe contribute a little bit, and from your experience you share.
Yeah,
that what is, when somebody is starting a law firm just now, right? So
Right.
just about to set up a law firm,
Right.
what would be the top 3 concerns that they should take care of?
Yes. See, anybody can start a law firm. That is no big deal. I mean, if a person has got 50, 60,000 rupees or a lakh of rupees, you can start a law firm. Even today, in time now, because of COVID, the rates would have further plummeted. The rental office is available from 6,000 to 10,000 rupees. Okay, you need to have a computer and a printer. Compulsory. These things are mandatory, without which you cannot start a practice as an individual, nor as a law firm. You cannot start a law firm. Law firm means you have to have, you yourself should be good with computers, typing. You should have a good typing speed, because if you are constrained about your finances, then it makes sense that you have all the qualities and skills that require to start off your practice as an advocate. As I said, typing skills, you should have good typing speed, and the computer knowledge, your printer, your office, small, one table and 3 chairs.
It can be
One,
even the house. You can straight up in your corner of your house also. That is also
yes,
fine.
yeah, that is allowed. I mean, for advocates and doctors and all architects, you can start practicing from your own house if you want to keep the cost low. Yes, but I chose not to start from house, because I was having my small office even before I started with the law practice. So I continued with it. I continued with my old office for nearly 1 year. After that, I picked up well, and then I shifted my office to a bigger place. So that is how I started. So these 3 things, but more than these things, friends, I would like to tell you, you should be very good in your communication skills. What happens when clients come to your office? If you are not able to generate confidence in your client's mind, They would come, they would talk to you, maybe pay you a fees. If you have kept a fees for consultancy, they would pay you 500,000, whatever you have kept. They would go and they will never come back. It is like first impression is the last impression. That is what I have seen. And one more thing, friends.
So how do you do that communication right? So now that you have mentioned this, right?
Yes, yes.
So how do you do that communication right? So a client has come for the first time and you're a new lawyer.
Right.
You don't have much matters from beforehand. So how are you going to handle that?
Yes. So now whenever a new client would come, let us talk about a client at the beginning, first client. Okay. Now this client was referred to me by one of my friend, okay, who used to consult me right from 2014 till 17 related to his own case, though he had his own advocate. Okay, after talking to his advocate, he would cross check with me, and I would always give him all the matters, all the points that is required as per the law, judgments, law points. What is the, I used to tell him that what preventive action you can take. He used to share with me, Sandeep, this one so I think has happened today in the court, so what should I do? So I would, if I know the answer, I would tell him, see, you give me a day's time, I will just work on this, I'll do some research on this, and then I will get back to you. And this thing worked like a magic. This friend of mine, though in spite of having his own advocate and I being a law student, then he continued with his lawyer, and eventually he removed his lawyer, and then he started participating as a party in person before the courts. And he also filed a couple of perjury applications because his wife had filed false cases against him, and that worked in his favor. And ultimately his wife went for a compromise, and they got a mutual consent divorce. And when this happened, he called me and he shared the entire thing with me, and he thanked me a lot. And as soon, and everything coincided, Ramanuj, everything coincided. By the time he got a mutual consent divorce, I completed my law and I got my degree, Sanat. And he came across another friend of his who was undergoing the trial. So he recommended my name to him and he came. So this is how the first client I got. And when this client, one more thing I'd like to share here. Nowadays, internet being omnipresent, majority of the clients are very, very well informed. They come, well prepared. They are already aware about a lot of rights about themselves. So we cannot take them for a ride until unless the client is, completely illiterate. He comes from a native place.
You should never take a client for a ride anyway.
Never, ever. Even if the client is illiterate, you should never do that. Okay, here I would like to, since you said you should never do it, I am very, very concerned, and I am very, very particular about observing all the ethical practices of law. I'm very, very particular. I tell them everything in a clear-cut manner, what is possible, what is not possible, and they should not expect miracle from me. And plus, I tell them that all your monies will be accounted for. I tell them, they ask me, you want it in cash, check? I said, I would always prefer a check or a bank transfer, no cash. If they insist, no, we have cash, then I tell them that, okay, you give me cash, I will give you the receipt. So these are all, basic things of law, which I've learned in my college. I have maintained it in a very, very religious manner. So these things have helped me. And once my client, till today, till the time I enrolled for LawSeco, legal practice management course of this institute. I believe most of the participants know that Mr. Ramanuj is the co-founder of a LawSeco, online education institute dedicated for the law industry, okay, legal field. So until unless I came across this course, I was not very present on the internet. In the sense, my website was not there.
And the people will think that I have paid you to promote us. Don't
not
do that.
At all.
So
not at all.
Let's
okay.
Let's stay on
that. Yeah, I will come to that part. If any of the participant has any question, I'm ready to answer that. Even before enrolling for the course of LawSeco, I had, I used to read the articles posted by LawSeco nearly for 2 years. I took 2 years to decide whether I should enroll for a course or not. After that only I enrolled. As I have said, I started my practice in 2017. I enrolled for LawSeco in 2019, whereas I had already started reading the articles of LawSeco. I think way back in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. I took nearly 2 to 3 years to enroll. Why?
So you went online, and then what happened, Sandeep?
Yeah, I did not go online. That is what I'm saying. I had a very good
So you
network.
went after you came across LawSeco and you did a course, you went
Yes,
online. So what
yes,
did you do there
yes.
after
I
that?
will
What
tell
did
you.
you do?
Yes, yes.
Uh,
I became active on
this is a
Facebook.
marketing tip that you're asking for everybody on the chat,
Okay.
right? Yes.
Yeah. See, okay. Then, since you mentioned marketing, I would like to tell all my lawyer friends and even law students, friends, do not be under a wrong impression that an advocate should not be a marketing guy, or he should not do any marketing activities. Please don't be under that
You
impression.
should not solicit, but
You should
marketing,
not
it could
solicit.
be a different.
Indirect marketing by way of word of mouth. You do good work, and let people come to know about it. Automatically you will get people. You don't need to go for marketing. But when your client comes to you, that itself is a marketing. How you come across your clients problems, what solution you provide them, how you take into confidence, how you comfort them. It is very important. I have many times, Ramanuj, I have got compliments from my clients that they say, sir, you are an advocate, but you speak more like a counselor. So that's a compliment, I believe, because counselors are always supposed to mitigate the problem, comfort the clients. So I
Yes, yes.
have done this,
So
and
this
they said,
is part of client service, right? So you
right,
provide such a service to client, which includes listening to them, counseling them.
right,
But no, if you can stick to the point of
yes,
marketing, online presence. Let's say
yeah,
online
online
presence,
presence,
brand
yeah,
building as
I
a
will, yeah, I will
lawyer.
come
How
to
do
that.
you?
Yeah. See, now after I enrolled with LawSeco, I revived my Facebook account after a gap of
Okay.
around 10 to 11 years. It is not that I am not, technologically savvy, but I was not very active on my Facebook, Instagram, and all other, including LinkedIn. I have an old profile on in LinkedIn, but I was not active. Since the time I have joined this course, I have started, I have, posted one small write up on Facebook saying that I'm going to become active on WhatsApp, I mean, this one, Facebook, and I'm going to post regular articles, whatever possible. And I also appeal to my friends, and I was so very pleasantly surprised. All my old friends and colleagues, everybody was so very happy. They congratulated me. They said, Sandeep, we are looking forward to it. It's a great thing that you have started practicing in the field of law. So this way, I have started one by Facebook. I have started. Then I have started getting connected on LinkedIn. It's just the beginning, just the beginning. But in spite of not having a web presence, why I could do well is because of networking. I contact, I used to be in contact with my ex colleagues, my classmates, or even in my college professors. I would be in touch with them. I would call them, or send them some message or something like that. So all these things collectively contributed in increasing my law practice. And plus, one more thing which has immensely helped me is the way I present my clients' cases in the court. Tremendous response I have got. That is one single point which I would give the highest credit for my law practice, is the way I present my case in the court. So that is about my practice. So
So one question about online presence that we
yes,
see is that even if you are online and you have many friends, many old colleagues, old
right,
classmates,
right,
everybody,
right,
family members. So say everybody wants a lawyer in their circle, and if they don't
right,
already have one, they
right,
might come to you. But
right.
how do you convey to them that you are a good lawyer? Because there are a
Yes,
lot of lawyers.
yeah,
Not
that's a,
every, we know that we mean basically people have a trust deficit with most lawyers in
yes,
the
yes,
society.
yeah, that is
So how do you build that trust through
yes.
that online medium?
Right. That's $1,000 or $1,000,000 question, I would say, Ramanuj. Okay. See, now they say out of sight is out of mind. Okay. To
Sure.
be in the, yeah, to be in the sight of your clients, friends, family, colleague, peers, everybody, the best way online is to post articles. Share your experiences, positive experiences of law, or resolution of a problem or a dispute online. You keep posting something or the other what you think is correct, not just what you think, what is legally, lawfully correct. You keep posting such articles online, and all those people, let us assume that you have a connection of 100 people on Facebook or 500 people. Even if you go by the law of averages, minimum 50 people will look. So that will multiply. This is how you generate, this is one very good aspect I learned from LawSeco. Thanks to LawSeco, about, I mean, in spite of having spent so many years of my career, I have never written an article on the subject matter what at which I'm good at. I had never written an article or a small write-up, nothing. But now I have started doing it, and it is generating positive results. So this is one of the best ways to make your web presence or online presence felt. Write articles, post, write-ups, these things
Even
will,
short notes and short notes, some short observations also
it
work
could be related to
quite
anything.
well.
It could be related to the rights of people. It could be the resolution when your rights get violated, how to resolve those violations, what steps can you take. All these related things, if you post even in a small write-up form, it will generate inquiries for you. Definitely it will generate, but you have to do it on a regular basis. Once in a while if you do it, people not take you seriously. People will think that once in a while this guy comes once in a blue moon and then he or she disappears. So people will not take you seriously. If people want to take you seriously, you have to be present all the time, or at least you have to be present on a regular basis. Let us say 3 times a week or 2 times a week. So that will multiply. So that is how you now, okay, now after interacting with you all, I have already spoken to a couple of web designers to develop my website, okay, to create a presence by way of digital marketing, or of course, in all these things I am to keep those things what you have taught, writing articles as the fundamental thing to generate inquiries. And also you have said, give free advices to people. That I'm even today I'm doing. I have got a number of WhatsApp groups wherein people post questions. I answer them free of cost, 5 minutes,
Pro
10.
bono work.
Yeah, so that is generating
So
inquiries
this
for
is
me.
a very interesting thing that I didn't know. I have learned from this from you, and I have shared this with other students later. So what you do about, can you explain this WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups? How do you use these
Yes,
to connect with potential clients, educate them about their problems, and then give them, and then eventually when you build trust with them, obviously when they need a service, they themselves reach out to you. So
yes.
how does this actually happen?
Yeah, so now if you know any, let us say I would talk about even practicing lawyers who have got a practice of 2 3 years or 5 years. They can create a WhatsApp group of their own clients whose cases they are handling effectively. All right, maybe 2 years, 3 years, whatever. So you create that group and ask those clients itself to add other victims of false cases or victims names, and you would provide free advice on that WhatsApp group, and keep doing it for a week or two or a month or two. And eventually after reading your articles, your resolution to problems
People
step.
come, basically you are promoting the groups through those articles.
Yes, articles. And see, basically, I'll tell you, when my clients added their friends' names to the group, those people who joined newly, they started getting answers to the questions of other members. And they became,
Okay.
yeah, they became knowledgeable. They said, wow, okay, Mr. Sheregar is giving good advice. And I want to share one more thing. We have got some groups in which there are plenty of advocates. All right. So there is no competition. But whoever thinks his advice is right or her advice is right, they post it. Even I post. And at the end of the day, the clients will decide whose advice is correct as per their situation. So they would call you personally. Nobody is allowed to post, the advocate is not allowed to post their fees or anything of that kind. Their name and number is there by way of WhatsApp group. So whoever client wishes to contact any lawyer, they can contact him or her so privately, not on
So
the.
I find this a very simple and inexpensive way of connecting with potential
Yes,
clients. So you are creating WhatsApp groups, and then people are adding their friends to the WhatsApp groups,
yes,
and then you are also promoting those WhatsApp groups on your social media, so people are joining,
right,
and people are coming and asking for free questions, because people can ask questions to get initial inquiry, right?
right,
But then obviously there is no option of growing a WhatsApp group beyond 256 people, I think, right?
right.
So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many such groups do you have?
To be very honest, around 10 groups I have.
Wow,
I
10
will,
groups.
yeah, but I would like to share one thing here. There is one gentleman by the name Sunil Karande. He is a law student. He's a third year LLB student from Mumbai University. Okay, he had created one group. Okay, and he added my name because there was some issues related to which he consulted me, and then we had a nice discussion. he created that group and he started adding other advocates and victims alike. Okay, and then this went on. Within the first year, this entire group became full, 250. Then he created another. So we went on like that. Now we have got 10 groups, and we have divided those groups. Two groups for only family related matters, two groups only for civil and criminal matters, two groups only for RTI related matters, things like that.
Okay.
So it has multiplied. It has one
I
more.
think Indians love WhatsApp groups, right?
Yes,
So
yes, absolutely,
there is
absolutely, absolutely. They love. And secondly, one more thing here. I
there are
would,
people who are asking if they can join the group.
yeah, yeah. Why not? See, I will be more than happy. You can share my number or email address. I would. I see one thing. What I have
Sure,
learned,
sure. You
Ramanuj,
share your email ID, and then they can reach out to
100%.
you and
One
then
thing.
connect and join.
Yes.
Better not to share phone numbers, right?
No, no problem. I will
So,
definitely share here one thing, Ramanuj, which I have learned from my senior advocate friends. Okay, I hold them in very high regards. All right, to treat your colleague advocates and especially juniors in a very nice manner. I have made it my life philosophy to treat my brother and sister advocates nicely, and especially the juniors.
wonderful.
But I have come across certain unpleasant situations wherein the other senior member has tried to browbeat or dominate my junior colleagues in my office. So I have taken it as a very very serious matter, and I don't even allow the judges to say anything to my junior colleagues in my office. If this has happened once, I went to that magistrate and I told that magistrate, my lord, if you have anything against me, you please hold me responsible, not my junior colleagues. They are here to learn. They are just into the profession. If we do this, they will get discouraged. They will leave the profession and go. We don't want any of the advocates to leave the profession and go. So this I have maintained. This has again led to a very good camaraderie between my colleague advocates. Even if they are my opponents advocates, they have got very very good relationship with me. So these things I am maintaining. These things I am maintaining. And one more thing here I would like to share for the knowledge of all my friends here on the group. Majority of my clients that I have got from these WhatsApp groups are existing clients of other advocates. Due to some reason, they are not happy with the advocates or the outcome of their cases. So I have taken a challenging cases as old as 15, 20 years going on in the court, and I am able to produce good results. Okay, if not any adverse order has been passed against them, but no good order also has not been passed against them, meaning they were already reeling under a lot of adverse order. They were paying maintenance, they were fighting false cases. So I have handled them. So this comes from your group. When they
Got
see
it.
your,
Got
yes,
it.
when they see your argument, when they see your responses on the group, they think, okay,
Somebody on YouTube has been, sorry for cutting you short.
yeah,
Somebody
no
on
problem.
YouTube is asking a relevant question is
Mhm.
that how do you build trust? Like you're a young lawyer, first year, imagine. Why should everybody wants to go to experienced lawyers. Why will they come to an inexperienced lawyer?
Yes,
What is your answer for this?
yes. See, you guys understand one thing: nothing comes for free, and nothing is immediate. It takes time. Everything in life takes time to get settled. If you are a fresh lawyer out of degree law college, LLB degree graduate, and you don't have anybody to start off, you will have to start off on your own. Okay, the best thing is to go to the court, attend the court proceedings for a week or two. That is the reason at the beginning of this seminar itself I told you all that if you want to practice as an independent advocate or open your own law firm, start it from the day one your college. I used to attend maximum lectures. I used to take participation in all the extracurricular activities like quizzes, debate competitions, extempo speech, all related to law, moot court. Why? Because these things help me gain knowledge. Okay. And when I started practicing, when a client came to me with a problem, that problem was not new to me. I had heard it, I had read about it. So this is how you prepare. Guys, if you read and read and read, you will definitely gain knowledge, and that knowledge is also somebody else's experience. For example, if you read judgments, that is an experience of other advocates who have got a good judgment by way of high court or supreme court order. That is somebody else's experience. You take, you learn from it. You learn from others mistakes as well. The other day I had attended Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, Justice Abhay Oak's webinar on advocacy.
Hmm.
He is one such justice. He was a very good practicing advocate of Bombay High Court itself. Later on, he was elevated as the judge, as a judge. Now he is a Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court. So I learned one thing from him. He says that if you are presenting a case before a judge, and if you are arguing your case, you as an advocate is duty bound. You are duty bound to not only keep the judgments which are in support of your case, you're also supposed to keep those judgments which go against you. And this is where you will win the heart of your magistrate. He will not consider your negative judgment, even though you have produced it, if your case has got a merit as per the judgment which support your case. So this is how you build a case. But let us come back to how to win the trust of your clients. Friends, this begins right from your college days, and this trust winning will come by way of your participation in different forums. Okay, you prepare on a particular topic, go and give a free lecture to a cooperative housing society. Okay, there are Rotary clubs, Lions clubs.
Great, great, fantastic.
Speak to the 101% sure, anywhere, even if you are living in a slum, no problem, there will be one Rotary club, one Lions club nearby or little away from your house. Prepare one solid topic. Okay, when I'm saying, when you're going to these places, you talk about cooperative housing society members rights. Okay, committee members rights, normal members rights. Okay, how to resolve a dispute. You prepare some topic related to which you want to speak and generate response. Go and talk over there. And after first or second talk, definitely people will start. And in fact, this is my experience, people will then and there will start taking your name and phone numbers. They will say, oh sir, please share your number, we would like to talk to you in person. These things happen. But until unless you start off somewhere, you will not get anything. Trust doesn't is not built overnight. Trust is built over a long period of time. And once you make a good name for yourself, people will come to you just by word of mouth publicity. But you have to start, you have to begin somewhere. I have seen people that are jab client milenge, when I get my clients, I'll start my law firm. No boss, first you open your shop, then clients will come, then customers will come. Without opening your
Right.
shop, how can you expect clients to come? So start off. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. If you get, see, there is you have to take some calculated risk, but there is nothing in this world which is risk free. You have to take risk somewhere, somehow, or some way. So just go into it, just go into it and talk to fellow advocates. People are very good in our profession. Trust me on this, they are good, they will help you out. Go ahead with it. And one more thing, building trust, you said getting clients is referred by another advocates. I'm very happy to share here that my advocate colleague friends have referred me clients from out of the state. Like I am in Mumbai, Maharashtra, Karnataka, UP, Gujarat. People have come from those places. I mean, advocates living over there, they have referred me clients from Mumbai. This is a fantastic way to develop your business. Yes, that's about it. Let me okay, tell me what else you want to know.
Great, great. Yeah. So, in this context, there are a couple of questions that came earlier. I know
Sure.
because you're in a flow, I don't interrupt. So there's a question about, how to register your firm. And I think the answer is that you really don't need to register a firm as such unless you have a partnership, then you register the partnership or LLP, right?
Right.
But otherwise, you don't really need to. If you're a single lawyer, you don't need to. And it is not necessary that you have to have a partner to start a law firm or a law practice, right?
Yes, that is 100% correct. But I would like to give a little more information since they have asked me the question. Okay, partnership. There are two types of registering your firm. One is under Partnership Indian Partnership Act. Another one is LLP. Okay, LLP Act is come. So I would sincerely advise you to register it under Partnership Act, not in LLP, because LLP involves a lot of compliances.
Many compliances.
Yes, many compliances, because LLP has
But
been
then there are some safety also in LLP.
Yeah, safety also in it, no doubt about it. No doubt about it, safety in it, but compliances are there. But if you can take care of those compliances on a year-on-year basis, you go ahead with LLP. Okay, LLP you have to register online on MCA website, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It's very easy, friends. Just go and log into Ministry of Corporate Affairs or create a profile and log in, and it is self-explanatory. You need to have certain basic documents. I mean, we being advocates, we know. what are the compliance documents required. So go
It's
with
written
those.
there anyway.
Yeah, it's written. First, you have to
But-
prepare a draft.
But Sandeep, one thing that I want to warn people about registering a partnership is that what happens is that a partnership means that your partner can take a 1 crore loan in the name of the partnership and disappear, and you'll have to pay that 1 crore. Okay.
Yeah.
So be very careful. I mean, I think that's the bottom line danger, right? Anything done by your partner, you get full liability, personal liability, right?
Yes,
Even
yes,
your residential house might have to be sold to return that money. That is the kind of liability a partnership can create. So one good idea is that you create a LLP. That way you don't have these personal liabilities in most cases.
I agree with you, but we can always keep some checks and balances. You don't go blindly in a partnership deal with anybody. Do partnership with a person whom you trust 100%. But still, there could be a.
But Sandeep, the people who we trust only betray us.
Yeah,
Who else
betray.
will
Yeah,
betray
that
us?
I agree. That I agree. So you keep some checks and balances in terms of getting any loan. Don't give any independent authority to one partner. Like in partnership for partnership.
I have students who have had partnerships with their wives, partnerships with their other family, father, brother, and things have gone very bad. Okay,
I
so to
understand.
be
This is-
extremely careful, because even in the situations, if you trust the person so much that they come and say that please sign these documents, you probably don't even look at it and sign it.
Yes. So we have to, being advocates, we should always doubt.
Always doubt. Plus,
yes.
do not register in a partnership, please. It is,
Yes.
it's advised against strongly, because not for no other reason. Compliances are much less, but the risk is so high because I'm expecting that your firm will grow big, right?
There
And
are-
also, not only that, client liability also. Tomorrow, if a client files a case for some reason against you, against the firm, it is not a personal liability if it is LLP and you have not done something.
Yeah, LLP is very good. There are many checks and balances in LLP, protection given. So if
And honestly, the cost of compliance, Sandeep, let's put a money to it. It's what, 10,000 rupees in a year or 5,000 rupees in a year.
Yeah, that's all. And
So
they
it
just
is not.
I mean, if you compare,
So if it gives you some peace of mind, why not?
absolutely, I agree. There is no price is higher to get your peace of mind. I agree with you, Ramanuj, 100%. Somebody was asking just now, I think, posed a question.
Another question is about name that I wanted to ask. Somebody had asked in the group only.
Okay, what name do you?
And then I want to ask name. How to decide the name of your law firm? How did you decide? Then I can also maybe give my 2 cents.
Okay.
And then we want to talk about whether to have a partner or not. What about doing alone? Should I do alone or should I have a partner? This is a big question for many people who are starting.
Right. Friends, okay. First, I'll come to the name. Okay, I being little emotional and patriotic in nature, I have kept that Bharat name, Bharat Legal Tech. Why legal tech? Because I am conversant with the technology and I would like to leverage the benefits of technology. That is the reason I have kept this name. But I think, you decide. It is absolutely as per you. If you decide a name and make that name famous, you cannot you think of a fantastic name and then just because of the name your firm will become famous. No. you keep any name, make that name famous. That is in your hands. Okay, this is first thing. Secondly, the question whether I should practice as a single person or I should what you call establish a law firm. I entirely leave it to you. There are 2 perspectives to this. If you do not want to grow multiple times, you practice as a single advocate with many juniors or interns and staff. Okay, that is one way. I've seen many advocates doing fantastically well. But if you want to grow multiple times, then you must establish a law firm, because here, by working for yourself, you cannot leverage time. Yes, you can send your juniors to attend, appear in the courts and do all those things. But leverage of time and money, there is a concept that if you want to leverage time and money, you will have to have a partnership firm. Ultimately, see, all those big shot companies, LLPs. Now, one of the participants just now told, wrote on the chat that, biggest of the law firms in the world are LLPs. Yes, I agree. So if you want to grow multiple times, you will have to, establish a law firm. If you are happy with your own self and the team of your junior advocates and interns,
there are very big law firms which have no partners till date.
Yes, it is possible. That is what I'm saying.
There are.
I agree with you. So it is.
Nishit Desai Associates comes to mind. It is a sole proprietorship. Not a,
So people
not a
have done it. I
partnership
mean,
law firm. It's a very
you
big law firm, but
you
okay,
take a decision and prove your decision right. It is entirely on you. I
yeah.
took a
So
decision to establish a law firm, so I have gone ahead with it. And to be very honest, I am in a break-even situation. Whatever I'm earning, I am spending it for my law firm because I'm
but
taking
is
it
that
as an
because you're growing, trying to grow the practice?
yes. That is the only reason. I am investing back all my income into my practice so that I can grow, into a bigger law firm. That is my sole intention here.
Understood.
Yes.
On the name, I just want to add a couple of things, Sandeep.
Sure, please.
One is that you are true, right, that name matters less, but sometimes it matters. It can give you a certain kind of advantage because it conveys a personality. So when you are working with individuals, then there is less restriction. You can have names which are more varied and individuals are more open to things. But imagine that you want to work with uh, say big MNCs, or you want to work with builders, or you want to work with technology companies. So the name, sometimes you will see the names are a little in those lines. Okay, so something that is more relatable for the target group.
Right.
So it helps to be recognized as a, so for example, a good sports law firm is Krida Legal. Okay.
Okay, Kriya.
Krida Legal, very good
Kriya.
Indian sports law. We had done a webinar with them also. 20 people law firm working entirely, mostly on sports law, now other things also. Krida Legal. We have similarly, like there are technology law firms which have some technology type innovation related, some word like that in their name, which signals to the market that look, we are relevant for you. Okay. So I think that is very important. I mean, in our like it can become important, right? Especially to send the right kind of signal depending on your client. But I think you work a lot with individual clients. From that perspective, Bharat Legal also, it's a very generic name, so I think it works. There's one question though, that whether you can use names of national emblem or the country on it. I'm not sure. There is a National Emblem Act. I'm sure you have checked it out before.
No, emblem you cannot use. The emblem you cannot use.
No, Emblem Act also, the name also for using India in a company's name. I don't know about sole proprietorship. I have no name act. I don't think there is any rule for sole proprietorship.
Right.
But just to check once, you can check once. I'm sure you have checked already. So, but there is, if you are setting up an LLP, there that may become a restriction. Okay, that you have to. You cannot easily use names like India, Bharat,
Right.
or even the name of the state may be difficult to use.
Raman, here I would like to mention one very important point which missed my mind. Okay, now individual practice or a law practice for the beginners, I'm saying, who are just setting up a practice or a law firm, having a thorough knowledge or at least basic knowledge of drafting is very important. What I have seen,
Right.
many people fail because they are not good at drafting. And if you're not good at drafting, trust me, friends, when it comes to litigation practice, or even if you're not into litigation practice, you will have a very bad time. Especially in litigation practice, people will be very, very furious with you because one mistake in your drafting can cost you your case. So learning drafting is extremely important, extremely important. And thankfully, I at least learned the basics of drafting when right from my college days. And I have been a very, very avid reader. I've read a lot of books, even articles online. So somehow I developed the knack of drafting basic things, starting from a notice. I have read advocates' notice. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I'm not making any adverse comment, but they are not up to the mark. And if I draft my notice in such a manner that if the matter gets resolved outside the court, well and good. Otherwise, based on my notice itself, I complete my drafting. So comprehensive notice I make. So friends, please learn the art of drafting. It's very, very, very important. As important as your communication skills or your ability to argue well in the court. First
Right.
step is your drafting. First step is your drafting. And
Got it.
I believe even in our
Drafting also helps you to think it through, because once you have drafted the matter, you get all your arguments. It is structured in your head.
Absolutely.
So you can
Yes.
you can actually deal with the matter much better.
100%. If you are drafting your own case and you are going for the argument, it becomes easy because you know what you have drafted. So drafting ability is one of the most essential for any individual advocate, or even for those people who want to start up their law practice, or set up their law
Law
firm.
practice.
Okay, somebody is asking how can we improve drafting. Advocate Rohit. Rohit, see, I'll be very honest with you. In our college curriculum, the drafting what is taught is not from the practice point of view. They are all basics. Okay. Now there is a book written by Jhabwala, and there is one more book I have forgotten
Bangia.
Bangia, and another in Maharashtra there is one more book with these are drafting books. Okay, they're all basic draftings. But if you learn them also, you will be good enough to start with your own practice. But if you want to go to the next level, when I'm saying next level, companies worth 20 crore, 50 crore, 100 crore, if they should trust you with their drafting, then you should enroll for a professional course of drafting, maybe with any university, maybe any with private law coaching class, or maybe now I think even Law Seco has got a course on drafting, basic drafting and advanced drafting, both you have, right, Ramanuj? You have a
Yeah.
drafting course.
We have many. We have in almost all our different courses. There is some different kind of drafting taught. So there are courses on banking where banking drafting is there, contract drafting is there, civil drafting, criminal drafting. Because drafting is also of so many varied types. Of course, if you have some basic drafting skill, you can apply it everywhere else also. But yeah, there is also specialized drafting that is also applicable.
Here I would like to
Uh,
share one experience, Ramanuj, before I forget.
mhm.
I one of my clients from UP referred, of course, from this WhatsApp group. He contacted me for a second opinion. Okay, this case was from one of the remote suburbs in Mumbai. Okay, it was an arbitration matter in which an award was given against him, against this. He is a contractor. All right. So he consulted me, and told him that, see, I need to read the entire bunch of your arbitration reply, what you have filed, and the award. Then only I'll be able to comment. So after reading that, one thing what I understood, I mean, thanks to my reading habit, I did not have much difficulty in understanding. But what I came to know, that drafting on a professional level, because this was a matter related to a contract worth 10 crores. All right. So when I read that, I understood that even I am lacking so much in on a professional level of drafting. When I'm saying professional level, I'm talking about big scale contracts going into 5 crore, 10 crore, 50 crore, 100 crore and above. If you want to go into that kind of a league, then you have to learn drafting on a different level altogether. I have bought books worth 10,000 rupees on drafting, but at the end of the day, you need somebody to guide you there.
Yeah, I think
Somebody.
that is important. Somebody needs to correct your drafting. I think that is a
Exactly.
very critical thing. You draft something, and then somebody looks at it and says that these are the areas where you can improve.
And
And if you
second,
get that, you can very rapidly improve. Otherwise, same thing will take you many years. I think that is also the principle which we follow in our own course. And you can find a mentor, then you don't need a course.
right.
But the mentor has to make that much time, on a daily basis for you.
Right.
So,
After the
yes.
COVID-19 breakout, I came to know about so many cases being filed, and so many disputes and everything. There I came to know about so many new factors of basic ingredients of a contract drafting. Very,
Yes,
very important.
absolutely.
Termination clause, force majeure clause, consideration amount, payments, cure period, all these things. There is something called as boilerplate clause. I mean,
Boilerplate clauses. These are part of boilerplate clauses. Yeah.
this was a very new
Sandeep, you
term
have
for
access.
me.
You are a master access student. You have access to contract drafting course. You do it. You will get
Yeah,
it there. You have access.
yes, I have already started doing it, but due to paucity of time I was not able to. But I have used this 2 months of lockdown in a very, very effective manner. Every day
Wonderful,
I
wonderful.
am doing minimum six hours, 5 to 6 hours back to back courses. I'm doing that because I believe in constant learning, and my senior advocates have taught me, Sandeep, never ever stop reading and studying.
Wow,
Remain a
wonderful.
student for the rest of your life, and you will become one of the best advocates. That is what my seniors and of course my professors also have taught me this. So I'm continuing with that. I have never ever.
So, I want to ask you another question. There's less time also. We're
Yes, yes,
almost out
yes,
of time. I know,
yes, please.
sorry for cutting you short.
No
Quick
problem.
questions I need to ask.
Yes.
How to set revenue targets in the first year? This is a very big question many people have. In fact, people are asking, how much did you earn? But rather than that, I suggest you talk about how to set a revenue target.
Yes.
Yeah.
See here,
So-
first of all, friends, you understand one thing. Initial years of your practice, if you are a lone practitioner, single advocate along with one assistant or even without an assistant, okay, you are racing against the time. First, you chalk out, you make a complete details of the expenses that you have on a month-on-month basis. Like if your office is on rent, your rental, okay, your internet connection cost, tea, coffee cost,
electricity,
electricity, and your
paper,
sorry,
printer,
yeah,
paper,
yeah,
printer,
stationery cost,
stationaries.
traveling cost, food, and beverages expenses. All this you figure, factor in, and then of course you have to take some money home also. If you have a
You take
house,
some money home, you have to invest some money in your continuous learning, you have to
yes,
invest
all
some
so
money in
you
your
calculate this and
uh,
divide it by 30. Okay, I believe in
make a
starting.
nice website. A big suggestion when you're starting a practice,
That
definitely
is
make a website.
100%, friends. I did this mistake at the beginning of my law career. Okay, but I would sincerely request all of you to definitely, have your own website right from day one of your practice, or even if you are already into a big time into practice, let us say 5-10 years, this is the right time. This is the right time to have your own website. Please go ahead with it. So
Yeah, you
calculate
can make
all
it
the
even
expenses.
before you graduate for that matter. You don't have to wait for
Yes,
anything. Whenever you have a
100%.
job also, make the website. Make the website the focus of your planning.
Yes.
Put what work are you going to do there? Any blogs you write, you can post there also.
Yes,
You can
and once you have a website, you can always send the link of your website to different people, different target groups to, read some article on your website or
uh,
ask some
uh,
questions. So you will
ask
get
feedback. How I just
feedback.
launched a new website. Tell me how it is.
Yes, yeah,
How can I
fantastic.
improve it?
People will be very,
Uh,
very happy to give their feedback and you can improve upon that. So you calculate all your expenses on a monthly basis, divide it by 30 days. I would say not 30 days, 20 days. I mean, 5-6 days you will take off Sundays and all. But if you want to work, you can work on Sundays also on initial stages. So I did that. I never took an off initially for the first year. But after that, I started taking Sunday off. But on Sundays also, I used to work from home. So you divide it by 30 days and then you decide that how much you need to earn on a daily basis. Okay, and now this is first thing. Secondly, now clients, but there is something called as break even period. You will have to 100% factor in break even period of minimum 6 months, by which you will start making some profit. Okay, by way of not profit, by which you will break even means your expenditure and your income will be same. You will not make profit, but you will see off all your expenditures from the income that you make. Okay, by this period you enhance your capacity as an advocate to take more number of clients, to go and contact more people. Okay, if you are switched over from other profession like me, for you the best thing for you to do is go and approach your old clients, tell them about your new profession. Okay, and if you are a person having good contacts and good relationship and rapport with your clients, this will help you. They will not reject you because you come from it.
I just want to share a story here, Sandeep, somewhere,
Yes,
right? Okay.
sure.
So one of my students many years back, so she joined one course and I told her to try writing blog posts and she wrote her first blog posts. That blog post is still there on IPDS blog. And it was on something related to cyber law. And she posted it. First thing that happened was her neighbor called her up saying that, Are, you are a cyber lawyer. They meet every day in the lift.
Right.
You
So
are a cyber lawyer. I have this problem. Can you help me?
yes, yes,
Now
yes.
that is the magic that happens. I
100%.
promise you, half the time, go check your uncles don't know what you do, your cousins don't know what you do, your neighbors don't know what you do, and
Absolutely.
if they know, because they already know. So biggest thing about hiring a young lawyer is trust. So people trust you, they'll give you work, right? So
So
if they
you
trust you, how are they? Where is the trust the highest? The trust is very high on people you already know, right? Maybe your school friends, college friends, ex-colleagues.
right.
Sure, Sandeep, go
Absolutely.
ahead.
Yeah, so I was talking about how to break even. So you take more number of cases and how you will end up more number of cases is a challenge, but you can easily overcome this challenge. Like I will give you a couple of 2-3 examples. All right, if you want to practice as a, let us say, trust lawyer, okay, charitable trust, NGOs, these kind of, if you are interested in that, so wherever you are living, there are many, for example, I will take the example of my own city, Mumbai. Okay, there are many mandals. Okay, what you call Ganpati mandals, Durgotsav mandals, or there are many sports groups. 7-star sports academy or 7-star sports group, something like that. You go and approach them and offer them to get their organization registered as a society. Okay, as a society. And once you do that, for registering that, it is not going to be a litigation work, but it is going to be a non-litigation work. Eventually people will start knowing you. I got one such work of a trust matter, okay, which I went before the charity commissioner and fought it out because of this. I mean, I used to talk to my friends, and also one person asked me, "Arey, would you handle a trust matter?" I said, I have not handled it previously, but I don't mind giving it a shot. And I did it, and I'm happy that I could get them some relief. So what I'm saying here is, start talking to people, make them aware that you are an advocate practicing in a particular field, so that you get more clients, and you can start earning more. So you divide it by, I have done like this. I have divided my 30 days, how much I need to earn on a daily basis, and then weekly, and then monthly, and then multiply it with by 12 over a year, how much I need to earn. So as soon as, but guys, trust me on one thing, please give a dedicated service to your clients, because they are the one who will get you more number of clients. They are the one who will spread good words about you. It is nothing beats the word of mouth publicity. Trust me on this, nothing beats. Even big shot law firms, if you ask, I am 100% sure they will agree with you, because one client, if you get a relief, that client will invariably go and talk to 10 other people. And big shot people, if you're talking about high profile people, HNIs, high net worth individuals, oh, they, what you call, always in the company of HNIs only. Their league is different. If you get relief to one HNI client, high net worth individual client, he or she will interact with their category of friends and family, and they will recommend you. But for that, you need to be highly professional, you need to be very, very committed, and you have to handle your client in a very nice manner. So this is how you can generate more profit, more, I mean, I wouldn't say profit, you can generate more revenue.
Understood. There are a few questions that people have asked, how to decide how much fee to charge.
Okay.
And then there are people who have asked this, that, once there are known people, how do I charge them fee? Because these are all these problems.
Right. So regarding, this is a challenge, friends, but at the end of the day, you have to be realistic with your own self. If you are an individual lawyer practicing with one or two juniors, or office staff, you still are answerable to their salary, and you are answerable to your family. So if you start not charging anybody, I have seen, there are few advocates, they say, I will not charge you anything for consulting. Once you give me a case, I will charge. But my principle is very simple. I don't want to give a free advice. Okay, of course, on WhatsApp groups, internet, I have given a lot of free advice. That's different. But somebody comes to my chamber, my office, then I wouldn't give them free advice. And friends, advocates profession is one of the noblest professions in the world, highly professional. Okay, so you charge them as per your understanding. Normally, I have not charged anybody less than 2,000 rupees per consulting. At times I've gone up to 10,000 also, depending on the case that I've got. Normally, whenever I get a client, I don't get walk-in clients. It's a referred client. They talk to me over the phone. Okay. So they ask me before. There are some clients, they are, very, what you call, skeptical about the fees. So they ask me first, Mr. Sheregar, how much is your fees? So I tell them, see, first you talk to me over the phone. I will not charge you. Maybe I'll give you half an hour also. 15-20 minutes we'll talk. If you're satisfied, then you come to my office. We will have a one-on-one. That time I'll charge you fees. Now I'll not charge you. So I
think this is a very smart thing to do. You should move conversations from free phone conversation, internet conversation. You should move it to your office whenever possible. If not possible, you should at least do a Zoom call or something like this, right? Because that interaction is very important.
Right.
One more thing, just wanted to add, because you're running out of time. So
yes.
Very important thing is that, when you are trying, even if it is a close person, distant person, the system is that you give them, first you give them some amount of free service in terms of, like, telling them their options and, like, how long it will take, what is the cost, explaining some things that everybody needs to know, and for them to have a conversation and figure out that you are actually somebody that they are comfortable with as their lawyer. I think that's a very important step.
Yeah,
At
I
that
agree.
step, you do not charge, but then you give them a roadmap as to how you're going to charge them. You tell them. If it is somebody very close, you tell them, see, this is what we charge normally, but with you, it is up to you. I leave it to you. Maybe you can say that also. And many times they will be good people and they'll pay. Uh, but it hasn't been a big challenge in most cases, like, I mean, so it may be that you are approaching it in a little differently, because most lawyers don't have, see, you are providing them value, so they don't have any problem in paying you. In fact, most of the time lawyers are, most close people are hiring lawyers because they are close. I mean, this is how it has happened from many hundreds of years, that your lawyer might be your friend, right? So that doesn't mean that you don't pay him your fees,
Right.
right?
On
So
charging the fees, here I would like to share a couple of more things. See, now as I mean, we all know we are professionals, but then as I said, I did not have a website. Now I'm, on the verge of having my own website and all. So the more professional aura you create about yourself, the
yes.
easier it becomes for you to charge fees from your client. Because
Yeah,
if
you
you're,
can have brochures, by the
yes,
way. You don't have to
yes,
go distribute it, but if somebody comes, you can hand it over to them to
yes,
explain how you work,
right,
right?
absolutely. So
So I
these are,
was just giving somebody an example. There is a divorce lawyer. What she does is every time somebody comes in, she gives them a handbook of collecting evidence, because she's like, anyway, I have to spend 1 hour explaining what
right,
evidence took
right,
you. She has
right.
gotten it written down in a
Fantastic
nice
way.
brochure. It looks like a book. It's a book, right? And she
Fantastic way.
gifts it to the people, and then they are also highly impressed that, oh, this person has given me, and they benefit from that book. It's a booklet. It's not even a book really, and they benefit from it, and they want to then they don't get that kind of value so easily from other lawyers, right? So
Exactly. So
then,
this is where you can, charge extra over other lawyers. You don't have to think so much. Create these value additions for yourself by which you can ask them a fees and they will be happy to give you fees. But still, all said and done, there will be some people who will try to take all the information and then not, say, okay, I'll come next time, not pay you, not even come back to you. So be it. That is the part and parcel of our profession. That is called as professional hazard. After talking to you, they might even go and talk to 2 or 3 or 10 other more advocates. In fact, I'll tell you, I'll be very honest with you, I would like to share this experience of my one of my client, highly educated client, all right, very well educated, very well informed, good knowledge of law as well. He came to me, he took my consultancy for 2 times, paid me for that. All right, he paid me, he did not even argue on that, he paid me. But he went and appointed another advocate. So be it. After that, I mean, I just followed it up by calling him a couple of times. He didn't pick my call, so I left it at that. Coincidentally, once what happened, I was going inside a court and I happened to meet him right at the entrance of that court. Okay, I just wished him and I said hi, hello, how are you, and all those things happened. And then he asked me, how come you are here? I said, I've come here to attend my client's case. I asked him the same thing, he also said. And coincidentally, right just then, his advocate came. So he introduced me with his advocate. So I spoke to him, spoke to his advocate nicely. We, exchanged pleasantries and everything. We exchanged numbers, card, and everything happened. And then we parted ways. Guess what? This client who had taken 2 consultancies from me, okay, he was unhappy with his advocate whom he had appointed. And 6 months, not 6 months, I believe I'll tell you that around 3, 4 months down the line, he again called me and he said that, Mr. Sheregar, I would like to, have a consultancy with you. I said, please come. And then he told me that I'm not happy with my earlier lawyer, so I would like to appoint you. So he came back. This happens. So if you have kept a good relationship, if you have come across as a professional, and if you have got a good knowledge, see, it is very important, friends. My good experience in law practice is because of my knowledge also. And I am not boasting, but what I'm saying is I read a lot. I read a lot, you also read a lot, and then this will get you more clients. Simple formula. Read more. One very important thing which I would like to share with all here. One of my professors also had told me, and even before that I had this habit, but after my college professor told me, I made it my life philosophy. Every day I read half an hour to 45 minutes newspaper, especially Times of India. Okay, Times of India is one such newspaper in which on a regular basis you will find minimum 8 to 5 to 10 cases of different fields of law: criminal, civil, consumer, family, labor law, you name it and they have it. I started reading this, and as I went on reading, a number of case laws. When I started my practice and clients started coming to me, those cases were not new to me, because I had read somewhere in the paper about certain similar scenarios. So I could relate with their case and immediately give them solutions. So this is how also I increased my practice. Please, I would sincerely advise, please start reading newspapers. It will give you a solid insight into different fields of law, especially in Times of India. I have subscribed to it now. After I started reading, I have subscribed to it. Every day I read without fail. Even during the lockdown I read. So you do this, you'll get a solid knowledge about law, and plus you can take it directly to your law practice. Any person who comes and he comes with a particular scenario, you are already aware because you have read it somewhere. For example, I'll tell you one very famous case all over India. What do you call this? There is a media baron, okay, Mukherjee. What's his name? Peter Mukherjee. Shinabora murder trial. Very famous case law. So I read and I got to learn a lot of things from its cross-examination. And I believe our Law Seco had conducted a webinar with Mr. Sudeep Pasbola, Advocate Sudeep Pasbola. He is one of the defense lawyers in the case. Excellent advocate and criminal lawyer. So you learn a lot. This is how you bring it to your practice and prosper. Anything else?
Excellent. So Jai Govind Tripathi ji wanted to ask a question. Let's invite
sure.
him. Yeah, Jai Govind sir, you have a question? Right? What happened? Jai Govind sir, I'm unmuting you again. Whoever wants to ask a question, please raise your hand so that we can see, because it's difficult to find. There are 73 participants. I can't find you.
Yes, Mr. Tripathi, you can ask question.
Yeah, so thank you, Mr. Ramanuj, and thank you, Advocate Sandeep.
Yeah, thank you.
It was really a wonderful session to attend, and a lot of practical insight, which Mr. Sandeep has given, that how to really, build a law firm from the scratch. So very inspiring story. And I'm almost at that stage where, I want to start a law firm. I've just taken the Sanad in the year 2020 and have prior experience of about 21 years in the insurance domain. So since the word insurance came in, it was like, some great, encouragement for me. My question is, when, suppose in my context, I have the most of the experience in the general insurance industry as a risk engineer, as a claim person, and as an underwriter. So where my focus area should be only to concentrate on the insurance matter initially, or I can also think of, building one or two more practice area to begin with.
Yeah, sir, to begin with, I'll be very honest with you. I mean, if you see, since you have started just now, I don't know about your age, but so be it, I'm not concerned with it. I would sincerely advise you to begin with insurance as of today, because in the background of COVID pandemic, there are going to be huge number of claims and disputes. All right. So you have got a tremendous scope. If you are an insurance professional who has switched over to law, you have got a tremendous scope. So go ahead with it. And if you want to get clients, from upfront, if you want to get clients, please do one thing. Prepare your profile. All right. Send your profile to all the insurance companies. Simple as that. At least one, even one single insurance company calls you, you are done for the day. You're done for the day. And that is, if you want to build a separate litigation lawyer career, then you will have to also do the same thing. Plus, there is going to be many repudiation of claim by the insurance companies. All right. And these people either would come to consumer forums or civil courts to get their, or they will also go to IRDA, because IRDA is also a adjudicating body. Right. So you understand the process of IRDA, and you start, just by people who have filed their claim. Okay.
In fact, sir, I would like to add a further suggestion. So you should go even farther narrow within the domain of this thing, or within the domain of insurance. You can identify some problems, specific problems that is a big problem for insurance industry today. And you being from the insurance industry, you might already know what such problems are, that lawyers are not, companies are having a problem or clients are having a problem in solving that. Once you identify what is that problem, you must be knowing, having so many years. So target some small problems like that, and then what you do is that you write about it You write articles about it. You post on your LinkedIn about it because your colleagues will be there, Facebook. And then you also start writing, making some videos perhaps, right? You can organize a webinar like this with all the contacts that you have, okay, and educate them. Find a solution yourself first. What is the solution that you're going to propose? Then you can share it with them.
Yeah,
And this way you will be able to quickly, when you start identifying smaller niches rather than a big thing. I do insurance law. There's so many kinds of insurances, so many kind of different things, right? What if you could identify some very specific problems? I don't know enough about the industry to suggest something, but between you and Sandeep,
yeah, I can tell you, Tripathi ji, there are many insurance policy holders groups. All right, there are groups, policy holders groups are there. You find out online, you Google it, you'll get it. It's easy. It's not that difficult. So you get yourself.
Okay, I want to take the next question.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you guys can connect offline.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, both of you, for really this
I will just share my email address. You all can
suggestion.
take my email address and get in touch with me. I would love to help you all as much as
That
possible.
would be great. That would be great, Sandeep.
In fact,
Thank you so much.
I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart Lossico, platform. That is the one which has given me this, opportunity to address you all and you all to connect with me. So that is the biggest thing.
Don't worry, Sandeep. We'll give you more opportunities. People have loved your session so much. We are going to call you again for another session.
Yeah, sure.
Arun
So
ji
Tripathi ji, we will get in touch. I have shared my email address. You all please make a note of it and you can send me email. I would be, happy to, share with you all my experience and knowledge, whatever it is. Yes. Who is next?
Yeah. I just want to ask you one thing. See, there are a lot of corporate lawyers who are in employment, and after their retirement, they want to barge into this. Because I'll take my example. I was a legal head, a corporate legal head for 4 multinational companies, and I superannuated from Tata, as a corporate legal head. And then subsequently, I'm working with some L&T group as a senior legal advisor for their infrastructure projects. Okay. Now, this is what a short background. I got enrolled myself in this lawsuit, in this insolvency and bankruptcy, which is currently going on. I just want to ask you one question, that my area of operation is about the infrastructure project. It could be turnkey projects, bidding contracts, international contracts, domestic contracts, bidding, tendering, arbitrations, domestic, international. And these are the areas where that I have got a kind of a liking, and that's my passion. Now, if I want to start my independent practice in the infrastructure project nowadays is a buzzword.
Yes.
For everywhere, state or central, there are a number of projects which are coming.
Now you saw the financial aid, 20 lakh crore rupees, sir.
Correct. So now my specific question is that I want to barge into enough. Now I was in employment for more than 40 years. I gained a lot of experience in like consumer to intellectual property, then infrastructure, and lastly I was with the power industry. I appeared before all tribunals everywhere. Now I want to barge into this infrastructure project. I want to start my own kind of a firm.
Right.
I got enrolled as a lawyer also. And then I'm basically a fellow member of Institute of Company Secretaries also. It's my additional professional qualification.
Right.
But I just want to have a kind of go into this particular infrastructure and start my own.
What the question, Arunji? Let Sandeep answer.
Yeah. What is the question, sir?
The question is that he wants to do infrastructure projects practice as a lawyer.
Right, sir. I will give you a very simple methodology to barge. You said barge into, and in fact, I'll tell you, your kind of a person will be most sought after. Our country is in need of people like you. Our country is in desperate need of people like you. One simple thing you do, okay? There are many, government infrastructure projects currently going on, all right? And many people, vendors, government registered vendors are there. If you go on any website, Maharashtra government website, central government website, PWD, JNPT, Bombay Port Trust, Indian Railways, you select any public sector utility company, okay? And go on to their website, check for registered vendors or registered contractors. All right. Once you get the names of a few, you send them your profile. All right. You send them your profile and they will either directly call you or send you a reply or whatever. Communication will be established. Once the communication is established, then it's all your ball game, sir. It's your play field. You are the expert. This is one way. Secondly, there are, one second, sir.
Hmm.
Ramanu, just give me a minute. There are
Yes,
many law firms who are exclusively catering to infrastructure companies. Okay, so you find out a list of infrastructure law firm, law firms catering to infrastructure companies, and you are game for the day. They will be way more than happy to take your expertise and your sheer number of experience. 40 years is a huge period, sir. So you,
but he wants to work independently and have his own
yeah,
clients.
so if you want to work independently, I did not understand whether you want to work as a litigation in the field of infrastructure, or you want to get inside as a an in-house counsel or something. So if
No,
you want,
it's everything, a kind of advisor, kind of a
consultancy,
litigation, like appearing before the arbitration tribunal.
great, sir. In that case, what I have told you is the best way. Log into the government websites. Okay, public sector utilities. I named a few: JNPT, Mumbai Port Trust, Indian Railways. There are number of them, n number of them. So log into their website, check for the registered vendors and contractors. Okay,
Yes,
these
yes, Sandeep.
contractors will
Got
be,
it, Sandeep.
okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
you said
can
this
go
already.
ahead from it, and my email address
Go ahead,
is
sir.
shared. You can interact with me on email, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, anybody?
Arunji, time is limited, so I'm having to cut off again and again. But one thing is that I will also suggest, you have so many years of experience. You will have so many stories. Start sharing those stories on
Definitely,
LinkedIn.
definitely. And
Exactly.
Start writing those stories on
okay.
LinkedIn.
No,
And
I undertake a lot of in-house and outside seminars also.
Great.
Basically for infrastructure projects, the EPC contracts and
so
international.
wonderful. You take some classes, maybe in LawSico also you can
Sir, we
discuss,
can
or
get
you
connected
can
on LinkedIn.
take
No
some,
problem.
and you can take some make some videos, share on YouTube. So many things can be done. Okay.
Okay.
So your stories are your biggest weapon, sir. Okay.
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. So there are a lot of hands up. There's RK.
We'll take a couple of whatever is possible. I
RK.
am
What do you want to
available.
say, RK?
I am available for the
You're
next 15
available
minutes.
for only 5 more minutes.
Oh,
2 more.
all
So
right.
we'll take very quick, RK.
Yes,
Please, very
yes.
quick.
Please share your email ID. I don't have it.
Yeah, I
RK
have
is
already
not
shared.
asking,
I'll give it again.
RK is not asking. Bijal, last question. Bijal, any question?
Yeah, so obviously a great session today. So I think Mr. Sandeep, he mentioned during the webinar that they utilize technology in the law firm. So I have just started my law firm in January. So I just wish to know how he utilizes technology to, make his, to improve efficiency at the law
This is a
firm.
big question. This is
Yeah.
a big question.
But I'll answer it in a very simple way, Bijal. I believe you are, technology savvy person. So
Yes.
I would answer you in very simple, terms. Which from there you have to build on. All right. I have just now shared my email address. We can always connect. That's a different issue. Okay. First of all, have your beautiful website. Okay. And in those website, incorporate all those things which are needed, not only from advocate side, but also from client side. Okay, you have a feature which enables the clients to put their questions, and then you can later on answer them. First thing. Secondly, have a presence. Now okay, Ramanu, this I had not shared. There is something called as a digital visiting card. All right, beautiful digital visiting card can be created with the links of your email address, your website, with WhatsApp connection, LinkedIn connection. So you just have logos of WhatsApp. You click on WhatsApp, you can send a WhatsApp message to your advocate. So I, as an advocate, if I have a digital card, so these links will be there on that digital card. I can send it to as many number of people. So this is another technology. Okay, Bijal, second thing, please have a customer relationship CRM software. All right. Plus subscribe. Yes. Plus subscribe to a research, legal research software or a website. Very, very important. I mean, this is to enhance your business. Plus, as Mr. Ramanuj is the boss here, I mean, start writing articles and post it to the relevant target people that you are looking for a business from, that you are looking for a what you call clients from. Target it to all those targeted people, your clients, whoever you think could be your prospective clients. Send those articles. I don't know.
Thank you, Sandeep. We really need to jump
Yes, yeah,
jump
please.
out of this.
So thanks.
Okay,
Mr.
thank you everybody. Great session. Thank you for spending your time with us, and hope to see you soon again. We have
Thanks,
lots of other
Ramanuj.
webinars.
First of all, my thanks from the bottom of my heart for giving me this opportunity, and thank you to all my participants. I have posted my email address. If you have anything to connect with me, you can always email me. I would be more than happy to share with you all.
Yeah.
quality I have always, I have learned from Losico. Fantastic people. Thanks once again, Losico and Ramanuj in particular, for giving me an opportunity to connect with so many great people, learned people of our country. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We will
Sandeep.
leave.
You made a big contribution. Thank you. Take
Thank you so
care.
much. Yeah.
Bye.